welcome to Lychee Pink Planner. In this week's little video that I'm making, I'm doing a combination of a vlog and a plan with me. This week was the highly anticipated opening of a new hobbycraft store in my nearest town of King's Lynn. They had done a few Twitter feeds, trying to entice people in, and it most definitely did work. There was lots and lots of people queuing up to get a first look at the new store, and I have to say it was impressive. It's probably a smaller store than many of the standard hobbycrafts. However, it's been beautifully laid out. There is lots of gorgeous little bits and pieces that the new staff have already made, and they certainly put a lot of effort into opening the doors. Now, I have some footage. I went with my friend Sarah. She was very good. She was there before me and she got in the queue because I was running a little bit late. We queued up for probably about, I would say about 20 minutes before we were able to go in. Obviously with COVID, they were limiting the amount of people that could go in, and it was basically on a one in, one out kind of like system. And I think there was a maximum of up to 28 people in the store, obviously because of the store size. I hope you like some of the footage. I'm going to have to play some kind of like monotonous music in the background because YouTube doesn't like it if there's any kind of music or anything else going on in the background, because you obviously need to have licenses. So excuse that music going over the top. I hope that you liked it. I hope that you like it. And what I've also done is added a sneak little bit of footage on the end of what I saw 2 days after the store was opened. I just nipped to the same area. I wasn't actually going into Hobbycraft. I was going into a shop nearby just to do a bit of food shopping. And I was shocked to see that 3 days after it opened, people were still keen to queue and to go up. And when I mean queue, there was probably a good 30-40 people still wanting to queue to go inside the new store. Good luck to you all. I hope that you didn't get too wet, because as I was driving by, it was very cold and miserable and raining. FYI for anybody, I didn't take the footage. I got my son in the back of the car to take the footage while I was driving, so I wasn't doing anything naughty or illegal. I hope you like the footage. We're now going to insert that here, and then I'll be back with you. mention that we also went and had a cheeky little lunch. I'm doing a, look at that sub. I know, that's huge. Look at your steak. And this is $6.99. The Frankie and Benny's in Kings Lynn was one of the few stores that survived, obviously, after COVID, because there were many stores nationwide that were closed. Kings Lynn was one of the few that kept its Frankie and Benny's. So hi to everybody at Frankie and Benny's. Thank you very much for a really lovely lunch. And thank you very much to my friend Sarah, who put up with me taking like vlog videos. We were looking at some bits and pieces and I was like, oh, hang on, I'm just getting this and I'm just getting that. We also discussed around the store how many things really do need to be done in rainbow order. There were some things that were beautifully done, you know, in the I can't remember the term. I do the Richard of York gave battle in vain. My friend Sarah, is it ROY GBIV? I'll have to send her a text after I've done this and just get her to tell me what it is. But it's basically the same thing. Now, some of them were done beautifully. Oh, and it made me so happy. Others I looked at and I was like, no. This needs to go in this order. I think that's probably why I couldn't work in somewhere like a Hobbycraft, because I would go back and I would arrange them all in the rainbow order. Anyway, I've done it again. I've digressed and I've ended up chatting about something that's irrelevant. So, on to this week's plans. I've already got a bit ahead of myself. I've Tipp-X'd out this here because I know that I'm going to be putting a header on it. This is going to be for the week commencing the 19th of October. Now, for many people, on the Thursday, the Friday is when half term is going to start for many people. I hope you've got some lovely plans, be they staying them home and doing lovely warm autumnal activities, or you may be going away. You may have booked a holiday like ourselves. We booked this holiday quite a long time ago. As far as we know, as of today, no travel restrictions, excuse me, got my teeth stuck, have been put into place. Nothing has been cancelled. So as far as we believe at this stage, we are still going away. This is something that my family has been looking forward to quite a lot. And this is also a very special holiday for my mum. My mum has never been on a plane. She has never really left the border. And we are going to Athens because she has a deep love for archaeology, history, everything to do with Greek history. So we're hoping that we'll be able to take her on this treat. My mum also works in the NHS. It's the same for everybody. It's been a very rough year. Obviously, there's travel safety restrictions, and Greece itself, where you have to fill out a form before. They randomly check people when you go in via the border. If you're checked, you have to self-isolate for 24 hours until the test comes back either positive or negative. You're not to leave the hotel. Many things have been shut, so they're not doing, you know, like the traditional like hop on hop off buses. They're limiting the amount of people in taxis, so taxis can be two people plus the driver, and that is it. Or you can hire a minibus, which will allow up to 6 people. They have very similar restrictions that the UK has. I believe there is a curfew, but I haven't been able to actually get a definitive answer of what time the curfew is, but I'm sure we will find out when we get there. I have been in communication with the hotel, just waiting for an email back, because I believe that they were also having some announcements made this week and they would confirm that. In regards to the hotel and walking around, same as in the UK, it's pretty much masks if you're going into a museum, a library, a shop, etc. on the metro. I don't know about generalised walking on the streets. I need to confirm that. I know that when travelling obviously on the aeroplane, it will be a mask the same as in a taxi. It's wearing a mask there, and obviously walking around the hotel wearing a mask until you are seated to eat or back in your room. If there's any other changes, may they be tourist friendly. Let's see. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so this is a kit that I brought from Oodlemadoodles. I brought this quite a long time ago. I bought it because I just thought it just screams Mediterranean. The beautiful yellows, the lemons. Oh, this is something that I'm so looking forward to. My mum has never experienced a white beach with crystal clear waters, and it's just something that I just can't wait to do with my mum. I am so excited about being able to take her to go and see. I think we're possibly looking to go to like the Riviera. I remember the first time that I experienced the white sands and the crystal clear water. In fact, my first ever holiday was to Athens, and that's where we're going again. And it was just so... I don't even think I have the words to be able to describe it. It was something that was out of this world. I love the beaches that we have in the UK, but this was just something that was just so incredible, just absolutely so incredible, and it took my breath away. And I think it would do the same to my mum. I'm not sure. She might get there and be like, it's just a beach, Emma. I don't know. We will see. I will get some footage of us while we're out there. We'll probably all be in swimming costumes, maybe with masks on. Who knows? I don't know. But we're just planning to go and do a little bit of a flash visit. We're not planning on, you know, spending too much time there. A little bit of a paddle, dip in the water, and then keep away from what I would call possibly high traffic tourist points. We're going to plan hopefully all of our trips so we keep out of people's way. Anyway, again, I keep digressing, so sorry about that. So I have pre-Tipp-X'd out this top bit because these lemons, they need to go there. I'm sorry if it's a little bit dark. I'm actually planning this quite late at night. I've had a bit of an odd day today. I've had a little bit of what I would call kind of like a bit of a fibro day. Had a long week, not because of hobbycraft. So I took my nephew and my sister for a medical appointment. Now, again, I seem like I'm being a little bit COVID heavy, and I'm really sorry. I don't want to seem like I'm harping on about COVID, but it's relevant because, you know, it is now a part of all of our lives. So we'd been waiting a long time to get my nephew screened for dyslexia. Now, everything was going reasonably well. We had a pre-assessment back in January, and he was displaying what they would call possible symptomatic displays of being dyslexic. Now, they said, you know, wait a few months, see if there's any improvements, because they also said that he was diagnosed with, now I hope I pronounced this right, I think it's called Erin syndrome. And it's basically where he needs specific colour overlays. Now, a lot of people think that that is exclusive to if you have dyslexia, and that's not necessarily the case. You can have Erin syndrome without being dyslexic. So we tried out the coloured overlays. He specifically needed the celery colour. Sounds very, very posh, but it's just a pale green. So we got in the pale green overlays, the same with the books. And we got him a set of glasses to see if that helped. Now, obviously, lockdown then hit. All the schools closed. We worked very hard virtually to help my nephew improve with his phonics. I have an education background, so I was able to help my sister virtually on, you know, decoding, etc., etc. Well, he tried his hardest, but he just wasn't able to grasp it, even with the overlays and the celery coloured paper. So we pushed and pushed and pushed during lockdown, obviously sent several emails and saying, you know, can we still go down the route? I understand that obviously we can't get a physical appointment at the moment, but we're going to need one ASAP. He's in year 3. And so it really is of the essence now. I mean, the ability to be able to, you know, read and write is at the core of education. Unfortunately, because of COVID, like I say, he's in year 3. We were looking at a wait time of 18 to 24 months. Well, that was going to take him into year 5 potentially at school. And it was too long. You know, year 5, we're looking at being able to practice for SATs, and at that point he would be so far behind his peers, he would really struggle to be able to keep up. Now, locally in Norfolk, there is a wonderful centre called the Indigo Centre, and they specialise in dyscalculia, dysgraphia, dyslexia and dyspraxia. You can go there and you can pay for a private assessment. The full screening takes approximately 2 hours and it's £296. Now, that is a lot of money, but we as a family put all of our funds together and we paid for the test because we feel that the quicker that it is done, the more we can get in place for him so he can have an updated, what they call the IEP, or the individual education plan, to possibly apply for some funding to maybe help with some other equipment. Many children benefit from having, there's like a pen where they can dictate their thoughts to, and then it sometimes goes up on on a tablet, sometimes on a screen, and often they can then type as well, because that way they begin to build their confidence again. You know, again, there is almost this, I don't want to say like an attitude, but many people misinterpret dyslexia along with a person's IQ, and it's completely the opposite. I mean, we know many famous people who are very intelligent but suffer with dyslexia, and I say suffer. It really is. It's terrible. There's actually been a television program that I've been watching, and it's about the plight of people with dyslexia and how they struggle in everyday life. Dyslexia can affect the way how you're able to organise things. Dyspraxia affects your ability, especially your coordination, can make you feel very clumsy, can make people very fatigued. Dysgraphia is to do with numbers and how you're able to process information and patterns, working memory. And then obviously dyslexia is your ability to be able to decode, to be able to read, and then to be able to perform handwriting, to be able to handwrite. Often it causes an awful lot of pain. It's something that I think that really does need to be focused on an awful lot more. And I think that sometimes when people say, oh, so-and-so has got dyslexia, it kind of like just rolls off the cuff. And people don't always understand that, you know, the full process and what it is like to live as a person with either dysgraphia, dyslexia, dyspraxia or dyscalculia. They really can be quite debilitating. Anyway, sorry, I've had another bit of a digression. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video now. I am going to put some more stickery bits on here, and then I will bring you kind of up to speed, because I have my cursive typewriter. It is here, it's here. It took a little bit longer, and oh my days, does it smell of WD-40, but it is here. And I can't wait to show you what the font looks like. So I'm just going to skip off. I'm going to do some bits and pieces and then we'll come back. So when I was starting to do this, I decided that I would ask a certain AI machine to play me some music. Does anybody have a problem with their virtual assistants at home that become, let's say, deaf? I'll show you an example. Okay, Google, stop music. I guess the party's just going to carry on. Let's try one more time. Okay, Google, volume down. So, my Google's got a little bit of an attitude. So, I'm back. Sorry if I triggered off anybody else's Oogle. In this house, it's very random now. We have 4 of the home speakers. And if we want to talk about, you know, oh, well, why don't you have a little look on we obviously are fearful to say it because they're listening all the time. So in our house, we now say things like, oh, why don't you just have a little look on Oogle, instead of saying, you know, the Oogle. Does anybody else have those in their homes? And do they find that they randomly just kind of go bing, and you're like, wasn't talking to you, what were you listening to? Have that kind of like random moment where they might just all of a sudden go, okay, the time is 3:15, and you're like, no, didn't ask you, didn't want your opinion. Thanks anyway, Oogle. So I'm scheduling in a little bit of time on Sunday to do a little bit of planning time. Whenever I go away on holiday, I take my planner with me because it's also my itinerary. I'm going to do a small amount of a plan with me. I'm going to record a little bit. I don't know, obviously, might be in the hotel room. I may be able to do a little bit outside. I can't obviously take like things like my ring light or my camera stand. So it's going to be a bit basic. I will include a little bit of vlog video as well. But because this is a family holiday, I'm not going to include too much because we're getting away. In the meantime, I just need to do a quick shout out again to my friend Sarah, who obviously she watches some of my videos. I've just started to do this. She brought me these gorgeous stickers, and it says time to plan, and I don't know if I can get this really close. I'm trying to like line this up. It says here, can you see in there? Plan with me. And she was like, you know, you need to put them into your planner. So thank you very much, Sarah. These are adorable. So here goes my time to plan. Here. Going to try and do a bit of planning on the Sunday or possibly the Monday because, you know, things change. I don't know. We've booked to go for a tour here. We've left Friday kind of blank because of the rules. If one of us is tested when we get off the plane, we have to stay in the hotel room immediately for 24 hours until the results are back through. So we've basically left this day completely and utterly empty. We're going to stay within the hotel, so that'll probably be, you know, like a bit of a swimming day. We're allowed to stay within the complex of the hotel. You then get your results, and then you're then free to do whatever you want to do. However, if you're not, you know, pulled aside to take a swab, you're then free to do whatever you want. So we'll see if any of us gets pulled over and swabbed. My kit that I'm going to take along with me on holiday is this one. This is the one that I've been looking forward to using. It's Beach Days. It's another custom order that I asked Grace from Oodlemadoodles to do. Never got a chance to use it earlier on in the year. I had originally got this because we were planning on visiting Southwold, which has beautiful beach huts. Now I know that Athens and Greece is not known for its beach huts, but it's this beautiful blue, it's this yellow. It's, for me, it's what the Greek beaches all are. So I'm going to interpret some of this with possibly another kit that I have that I've got some spare bits over from. I can't remember the name of that kit at the moment, but I will incorporate that with me. And so yeah, this is coming on holiday with me, and this is what I will hopefully be doing here on the Sunday or possibly the Monday, but we'll see. You'll see in the next video which day I did it on, whether I did do it on the Sunday or whether I did do it on the Monday. Included in this week's spread is just a couple of stickers that I got from this pack. Now, I got it from a Dysstash back in February of this year. I've never heard of this brand before, so please excuse my ignorance. It just really, really appealed to me because it just looks so pretty. It's by Villa Beautiful. Yeah, www.shopvillabeautiful.com. I love how it says, pen ink may smear. Please wait a couple of seconds to dry. Best tip ever if you're a planner. Wait. Just wait before you, like, you know, run your hands over anything. And this pack is called Jet Setter. Now, it says up here May of 2019. Sorry, I try really, really hard to keep everything in shop. So I don't know if this is part of a subscription pack or something. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know anything really about the brand. But they're quite pretty, and I've got it just exclusively, you know, for little holidays and day trips. Normally everything that I want is on the Oodlemadoodles kits weekly, but this one specifically was quite a holiday themed one. Look, it's quite pretty. Look, it doesn't fit in what I would call like a day-to-day. This is exclusively a jet setter one. I tried to see if I could get this to fit, but it wouldn't fit in my mini dashboard. It's really, really cute. And I think the font and the whole colour scheme fits very well with Oodlemadoodles kits. They've got that kind of same chic, a little bit of foiling, those nice muted tones that aren't in your face. Really, really pretty. So if anybody else is planning to jet set, if you can get hold of this little sticker book, it's quite a nice little top up. Also probably quite good for memory planning. I always take lots of photos and then I make you know, a scrapbook with it. I think this will be what I'll use in the scrapbook for the rest of it. I do have a happy planner, the travel book, the one that has Great Britain missing on the map. Oh my days, that so annoyed me. I actually sent an email to Mambi and said, where's Great Britain gone? They didn't actually ever get back to me. But it's like there's the whole world map and it's like, where are we? We've gone. We don't exist. Many people feel that anyway. Let's not get started on the whole release, the Mickey Mouse release and some of the Happy Planner bits that were not or are not being made available to many of our third-party resellers, which I think is really, really sad. Because we do, you know, we need to support local. These ladies for years and years and years have been getting Happy Planner stuff in for us. You know, they took a big risk. They've helped to establish the brand over here, and then this year it just kind of like feels they were completely and utterly forgotten. I will be honest, I did order a sticker book when they reduced the shipping costs, and I noticed they did something little bit naughty. They didn't declare the full amount on the customs label, which is why everyone was getting their items with no custom fees, which is a bit of a no-no when you're a big company such as the Happy Planner. Anyway, let's move on. So here she is. This is the Alder Tippa. I hope that I have pronounced it correctly. This is a German typewriter around about the 1950s. If anybody knows the exact date when they were produced, obviously leave a comment down below. I'm not 100% sure. This one is a slightly more cheaper version of the Royal Light that I own. This up here is made of plastic, whereas the Royal Light, I don't know if you can hear that ting 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 in the background, is all metal. The base is metal. This particular one is kind of like a grey khaki colour. It's very, very hard for me to move my camera set up. Look, here we go. The keys look like they are heavily stained, but actually when it's in daylight it doesn't look like that at all. You can also tell that back in the day this would have been a cheaper model because the actual roller here doesn't appear to be of what I would call like a thick rubber, and actually when you type it has much more of a clack clack clack, whereas the more you paid the more silent the typewriters were. There are some typewriters that you basically can't hear them, and they were the most desirable back in the day, because I mean, if you can imagine an office full of people using typewriters, the noise, although I would find it, you know, quite soothing and very lovely back then, I imagine it was just irritating and you know, quite overstimulating at some points, because it must have just been a constant noise. I remember watching in The Help, there's a scene where she goes into the newspaper office and you can hear them all typewriting, you know, in the background. And the guy was like, you know, shut that damn door. And then, you know, shut the door, and then you hear all the typewriter noises just completely and utterly stopping. Anyway, I've done it again. I've digressed. So, onwards and upwards. Here we go. Hope you enjoy me typing away on this Alder Tippa. And have a look at the little font. It is quite special. It's very beautiful. Hope you like it. Kievs. It's a little bit of a eat out of the freezer kind of like stuff it in week. I don't know about Wednesday yet. Oh yes I do. We are having a cheeky takeaway. Getting a bit of a theme here. No idea what we'll be eating. What else can you say? Whoops, that's not looking great. Oh well. Gotta lift it up here. Oh no, look what it did, look what it did. Better. Oops. Oh dear. I was feeling quite confident when using the other typewriter. I was like, I was getting the lines quite right. I was getting all of the spacing correct. That's better. Whereas this one doesn't look as neat, but it's still done. It's still done. I'm quite happy with it. I hope nobody minds. I haven't included obviously like my flight information. I haven't added some other little bits and pieces because they're personal to me. I've just done a basic packing list here. I'm not I've put underwear and then I was like, hang on, nobody needs to know about me packing my underwear. Well, at least people know that I pack underwear. I'll add some other bits onto that later. I hope you've liked this video. It has probably been my most random video. My hands are a little bit better, by the way, should anyone be interested. Not quite as swollen, still a little bit red and a bit, you know, swollen in places, but in general, you know, they're better. I'm hoping that I don't have a bit of a flare when I go on holiday. So, to bring this to an end, because it's been a bit of a ramble and a bit random, I hope you all have a lovely week next week during the coming half term. Keep warm, keep happy, keep safe, and keep sticking. More importantly, keep putting in the stickers in your planner. Even if you haven't really got much else doing, it's nice to keep a routine of, you know, of keeping up with your planner. Okay, take care everyone. Bye. Oh, and I completely forgot. I forgot in the end of last week's video as well. Should you want this beautiful kit, as many of you already know, I'm a part of the creator team for Oodlemadoodles. If you go onto the Shopify website or on Etsy, at checkout, just type in Emma15 and that will give you 15% off. And that will also get you my beautiful freebie, which, hold on, I'm now going to find it. So this is what my little freebie will look like. May obviously be slightly different, colour variations, etc, etc. So it will have maybe something like early night, movie night. It will definitely have the typewriter and hello, slightly different variations on the colour as well. This will get you 15% off any purchase, not if there is already a sale going on. Importantly, it will get you 15% off the advent calendars. If you sign up to the Shopify, when you sign up and create an account, it has almost like a built-in, let's say, Tesco's or Nectar card. So for every £1 that you spend, you get 7 points. For every 100 points that you have is £1 off your next order. So it's definitely worth signing up to have an account. Think of it as like a Planners Club card. You get rewarded for all of the little stickers that you get, and at the end of it you have some credit towards your next purchase. There is no minimum amount that you can spend of that credit. Well, I say there's no minimum amount. You have to have 100 points to be able to redeem £1, and you can keep saving and saving and saving. Maybe what you could do for, say, this time next year is use the Shopify account, save up lots and lots of credit, and maybe you could use that towards next year's advent calendar. Who knows, you may have £55 worth of credit, and there you go, you've got yourself a lovely advent calendar for next year. Points are definitely worth saving. Anyway, take care guys, have a lovely week. Bye.